Oh, there it goes. Alright, so we're at the beach. It was a beautiful day when I left my house. So the sun was shining, wasn't any wind, and now low clouds moved through, the wind is pumping, and it is freezing cold here at the beach. Anyway, today we're going to just test the Quest X5 IdMaxX at the beach. Let's just see how well it does. We're going to just do a quick test just with a few coins, or with one coin actually. We're going to just test in the dry sand, move down to the wet sand, see how well it handles the wet sand, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so there's no beach mode, it's not a beach machine, but I would just leave it in field mode or park mode, not the gold mode, that'll be too sensitive, and we'll just see how it goes. Let's just dig a little hole. Get it in there. Flatten it out a little. Okay, no problem. Which obviously we don't expect it to be any hassles on the dry sand. Most machines don't battle on the dry sand. Oh, where's this? We get it out. Okay, it's out. Alright, next step will be down to the wet sand, because that is going to be our bigger test. So let's walk down to the wet sand and see how the machine performs, if we get false signals or what happens. Alright, so you'll notice when you get down to the wet sand, the machine will give a lot of false signals. You can hear all these false signals happening here. Let's try and go even closer to the wet sand. I know everyone in the video, all the comments, oh, he's walking so fast. That's not how you metal detect. You're gonna miss so many targets. Yes, I get that, but I'm not gridding the beach. I'm actually just testing the machine, walking from the dry sand to the wet sand to test for you. All right, so we're on the really wet stuff here. And you can hear it's unusable because the machine is just chirping away at everything. So that's no good. So we can try holding the ground balance button and try and ground balance, but in these tough conditions it's just not gonna work, it's not gonna help. So your little trick that we do is hold down the ground balance button and manually bring this number all the way down to 0. Okay, so lift the coil up, hold down the ground balance button, manually bring that ground balance all the way to 0. There we go. So now if I check the ground balance, oh, there's the water. If I hold the ground balance, you'll see the number is 0. So we've ground balanced it to 0. We're in field mode. That should help calm the machine down. Okay, we're in water now, so that's even tougher conditions. But let's just go onto the wet sand here. So it's calmed the machine down a lot. In fact, a real lot. I was going to say you really need to bring that sensitivity down, but at this point, it's actually working pretty well. The machine is actually very stable. You're going to get the odd chirp. It's not a beach machine. It's not super stable at the beach, but see, if I hit some water like this, you're going to get the odd chirp. But for the most part, very, very usable. And the smaller coil here, which is only a 9 by 5 inch coil, really helps with that, because the bigger the coil, the more, obviously, the more area it works, the more salts it has to deal with. So with a smaller coil, it's less salt mineralization it's dealing with, and it definitely helps, as you can hear, nice and calm, and you can definitely work with this on the wet sand. So let's try and put a coin in down here on the wet sand and see how it does. Let's just dig a little hole. Stick the coin in. We're not going to go super deep, we're just going to see how this works. Okay, so we are picking up some mineralization through this heavy salt water here, so we can reduce the sensitivity. Just to help with that a little, go down to 70. Still getting it a little bit, but pretty stable all around this area. So let's walk over our target, and no problem. Picking up the 2 Rand coin. And stable elsewhere, and over the 2 Rand coin. Now obviously the water is a bit of a different beast. It's going to be even more difficult, but it's actually pretty stable even in the water. Getting your odd chirp. Let's see if we can find our coin now. There we go. There we go. So let's get it up there. It's out. And there it is. So there's our 2 Rand coin. Oh. In the wet sand. So that works. If you are starting to get a few more extra chirps than you would like, all you need to do is just reduce the sensitivity down. So if we can bring that sensitivity right down, even if we really bad, let's go down to 50, and that should help calm the machine down quite a bit. If you need to bring it down even further, you can bring it down to 40. As long as your machine is running stable, you can use it. If it's not running stable, you're not going to be able to use it. So there's no point running a higher sensitivity. You get more depth for sure, but you get a lot of false signals. That doesn't help. Again, for all those people who say I'm walking too fast, I'm going to miss targets. Yes, I know. I'm just testing the machine. I'm not actually gridding the beach. I just want to see how the machine performs. As you can hear, there's no falsing going on, the odd chirp here and there. So I am on 71 sensitivity at the moment, 0 ground balance, and the machine is definitely usable down here in the wet sand at the beach. As I say, the few things, don't hit the ground, the coil into the water, it's going to chirp off a bit. Just keep it slightly above the ground. And then it's nice and quiet. Fully waterproof. So if you drop your machine into the water, oh, there it goes. Normally, your machine would be absolutely fried if it wasn't waterproof. This machine is fully waterproof down to 3 meters and absolutely no hassle at all. We are back, just finished our little testing here at the beach. With the Quest X5 metal detector, the IdMaxX, fully waterproof down to 3 meters, entry-level machine. It's probably one of the cheapest you're going to be able to buy. So if you're looking for a machine just to start out metal detecting, or if you're looking for your kid, or it's for adults alike, so the whole family, have a look at the Quest X5, fully waterproof. Got the ground balance, which we manually ground balance down to 0 in the wet sand to help us in those conditions. It's got your sensitivity, pinpoint, small little 9 by 5 inch coil, and it is nice and light. We're talking 1 kilo, 1.1 kilos. So nice and easy to handhold. It's got a telescopic scope that you can, a telescopic stem that you can adjust to make it shorter or longer. So even for a short kid, you can make it nice and short. And I don't know what more people would want for a very entry-level machine. It's got everything you need if you want to use it mostly inland and come down to the beach a little bit. At least you know it is usable at the beach. If you are looking for a full-on beach machine, I wouldn't recommend this one. I would recommend a mid-level machine that's actually very good at the beach, or a higher-end machine that's designed for the beach, something like the Garrett Vortex VX7 or VX9s, the Minelab Equinoxes, or the Nocta Legends and above. You know, those are obviously designed to work nicely at the beach. But if you're just starting off and don't want to pay that price point, something like the X5 definitely will work nicely in the dry sand. You can manually manipulate it down to work On the wet sand and in the water, yes, you're going to get a few chirps. It's not going to be ideal, but it does be nice and calm, and it's going to find you stuff. So it is definitely usable at the beach. So have a look at it, the Quest X5 IdMaxX. And you're welcome to have a look at our website, treasurehunters.co.za, if you're in South Africa and you want to purchase one of these or any other machine. We sell quite a variety. So have a look at what we have to offer, and hopefully we can help you. It is freezing cold here at the beach. I really want to get back now to some warmth. So we'll catch you on the next video.